How are you liking holding your mic? Is it okay?
I feel like a celebrity.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll go through and I'll edit this and I'll hear it and it'll sound funky and I'll be like, actually, Kinsey doesn't get the handheld mic.
I don't know. Maybe you could just adjust the handheld mic. I feel, high
I kind of liked
quality.
the handheld when me and Caitlin were testing the mics. This one's really heavy though, so there's no hold. I mean, I guess I could like. I feel like I'm holding like an 8-pound weight.
I feel like my Leo rising is
bro.
really much
enjoying it.
Looks
like you're holding a cock.
I think I could gain some
Kaylin,
muscle
looks like
here.
you're holding a chode.
What's a chode?
It's a thick, short cock.
Those are the best.
I'm just saying. You're still holding one, too.
I could just do curls all day with this, bro.
Mariah's holding a
sounding in and out. I
bench
bet.
weight.
You're like,
it probably is going in and out. Whatever, bro.
And we're holding cocks.
Damn, bro. I look like I got the worst one.
If it was a real cock, yeah.
That's racist.
That one's huge. What do you mean racist?
Bruh.
I was just saying it's huge.
Anyway. My shirt is so long, but these pants are like short, so I feel uncomfortable.
I'm so happy I don't have a penis.
Sometimes I'm like, damn.
Sometimes I'm just like, how do
one
you
more
go
thing to
about
be
your
insecure
day?
about.
Sometimes I do.
No,
I
hear
don't
me
think
out.
I don't care what size my penis would be if I was a guy.
No, hear me
Girl,
out.
I've seen some bad
if
ones.
you're a guy,
I mean, yeah, if it was fugly.
besides the fact of what it looks like, just imagine
seen it
walking
by Ena's
around. Shut
sausage.
the fuck up, Kim.
Hard.
Just imagine walking around and something is dangling from you all
okay,
day.
that's when you lose me. I think I'd be like a briefs kid. I don't know if
No,
I'd be
that doesn't
comfortable.
matter. That doesn't matter. I don't care how loose your clothing is.
It could get chopped
Something is outside of your body, free falling.
So are tits, bro.
No. Tits are like
Not the same.
depending on how huge you have. Even if they're big, like they're attached to you. If you run, you can feel the move, whatever. When you have a fucking dick, that thing is so far away from the base of your body. When your boobs are like every corner of them are attached to you.
Not when it's like soft.
The
though. It's
surface-
a completely different thing.
But no, I've seen them move.
I've dropped guys.
I think it just depends.
Just imagine feeling two of your balls just dangling all day.
and one's hanging further.
But like, I feel like when you're,
got
I
even
feel
nuts.
like when you're born like that, you don't feel it like the same way. Like it's not the same sensation.
Well-
Your body's like adapted to the feeling.
Well, obviously, yeah, but I mean, if we turned into boys tomorrow just because the universe wanted us to let us try it for a second, I'd feel it all day.
Constantly pulling your
And
pants down.
I would argue that if men got to be women for one day, yeah, they'd feel their boobs all day, but would they feel them to the extent that we'd be feeling our dicks? No. Our dicks would be dangling in the wind.
And like, I don't wear tight pants, so like, I'd be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, just imagine all that shit. Like every time you
My
sit,
cargo
it
pants
shifts.
that are already like extremely loose.
I
Caitlin's
love-
like, I want nothing to do with this conversation. Oh, okay.
I love-
Anyway, what were we
High
saying,
green,
Caitlin?
low yellow.
24 hours as a man? How many women you fucking?
What?
One would be enough.
Ken said just to enjoy one lovely woman would be enough.
I mean, even as a woman,
How many times are you jacking off?
one woman.
I feel like that's like a good amount of time. If you have a penis, you're telling me you're not jacking off at least more than once.
I try it once, but if it's 24 hours, like what more are you gonna
Yeah.
experience? Like I'd rather go. And once you nut, it like you can't.
It
go
takes
back
forever.
To back. Yeah. So I'm like, let me save it for like.
Men have to wait like 15
Caitlin's
minutes
gonna-
before they can
she's-
like orgasm again.
She's like, I'm gonna take two, and one's gonna be jacking off, and one's gonna be with a woman.
I'll jack off in the morning, because I'll already be hard.
Obviously.
And no woman's gonna, she'll be too tired, too sleepy. Then later in the night, like I'll wine and dine like a woman. And if she didn't want to during my 24 hours, like that's fine. I already got to jack off and try it.
So you and Colin switch roles one morning. Colin's now a female. You're the male. Tell me the dynamic of the relationship.
So we didn't switch bodies. He's just girl Colin now.
Yeah, and
yeah.
your boy, Kaylin.
So like obviously he might have like a little more of a
would be
snatched waist, some
hardcore
tits.
lesbian that like would go buy a strap on. Like he would not.
no, Kaylin.
No, I'm saying
Listen.
that's his energy.
No,
his soul.
but in this,
You guys are
I've
a
asked him
relationship.
before.
no, shut up. In this world, when you turn into a boy, your boy, Kaylin, your
Yes.
boy, Kaylin. So you'll be attracted to girls
No,
and
no,
guys.
that doesn't.
Girl, that doesn't
I don't know.
change my
Maybe it's
sexuality.
No,
the non-binary in me. But like if I wake up as a male, I still act the exact way as
No.
I'm acting now.
Okay, I kind
Yeah.
of messed that up because I didn't mean that your real sexuality would apply in this world. I'm saying if Colin likes girls in this world, in the vice versa world, he will like boys because he's a girl. Does that make sense?
See, the way I took the question was that we are still who we
Yeah,
are.
that's how I meant it.
I mean, like, you guys are still who you are, but if you lived in a different reality where you were a boy and he was a girl.
So Kinsey's changing the question now.
Right. I would like to answer both separately. I've asked him before, I'm like, if you were a woman, like, raised a woman, everything, do you feel like you'd take dick? Would you like dick? Would you like any of that
So would
shit?
he break up with you?
No. Well, no, hold on. Let me finish. His answer is, he's like, I think I would just be a hardcore lesbian. Like, he's like, I'm not in the dick at all. He's
No,
like, so then, no, shut up, listen. He's like, you know, I would be, you know, strap-on lesbian type of woman. He's like, that's just who I am in my soul. Like,
you
even
don't
if I was
understand.
no, I'm answering her question, then I'll answer yours. Literally, calm down.
You're
Just
taking
calm
it incorrectly.
down. Okay, I'm taking Mariah's answer correctly. Just hold on, and I'll get to yours because she asked first. So that's how Colin would be. I can't change that. I would be able to go both ways, I feel like, especially if I was a man. I'd be like, I'd take it or give it.
So would Colin break up with you if you woke up tomorrow and he was a girl and you were a man?
Wait, if I were a boy, I guess so. Unless I was like, I'll take the baby.
See, that's not what the fuck I'm asking right
I was
now.
asking you just in general if they woke up like in separate bodies tomorrow.
I
Like
didn't
if
take
tomorrow
into the
morning
fact that
Kaylin woke up with
he-
the penis and Colin woke up with the vagina, how would their relationship change?
I didn't take into the fact that I would be a man.
Yeah.
Maybe he would. Kinsey.
This
your question
multiverse.
again, and then I'll
I'm
answer it.
saying in a different reality where we don't get to take Kaylin's previous experiences of a woman, a bisexual woman, and we don't get to take Colin's previous experiences of him being a straight man. At least that's what I know. If we're in a different reality and you were a man and he was a woman, but you know, you guys
Is
like
Kaylin a bisexual man in this reality?
you guys liked your, you know, nerdy things. Like, you're still Kaylin and Colin, but different Kaylin and Colin. You don't get to bring the same experiences. Obviously, in that reality, he would have been born a woman, raised a woman, and if he still felt like a straight person, wouldn't he still be into guys?
Yeah, we're talking like literally different multiverse. Nothing.
Yes.
Colin's not a
Right.
raging lesbian, just like in a different world.
Yes.
Where in this magical world, Colin is a straight woman. You were a bisexual man. You guys met, are dating. How's the dynamic changed?
When you picture what a female Colin would look like and you were a male Kaylin, would you want to fuck female Colin is my question. In this multiverse
She's
where
making your brain work more than I asked.
I know she's changing sexualities, sex, like the whole situation.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, would you?
First of all, I don't think I want to be a, like, in general, boy version of me. I don't.
You don't
think
get to choose.
I know. I'm just saying, like, the genealogy.
There's a
of me,
multiverse out there where
I
you
don't
got
think
two
I'd
X
be a very
chromosomes.
attractive guy. I think I'd be like, I don't know, kind of a schlub. Like, that's how I feel like I'd be as a man. So I don't think I'd be attractive. Like, first off, so I'd be an insecure schlub, and I'd be a Cancer man, and then I'd be fucking an Aquarius woman.
Oh.
That wouldn't
Like,
work.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
Aquarius woman would clown on you, bro.
That's what
Colin
I'm
would be
saying.
his hot Aquarius girl ass self, and he'd be like, "I'm too unique for
Yeah,
you."
100%.
And Kaylin would be like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
She'd be like,
I'm just answering
Mommy.
honestly from what I'm understanding from the question.
Yeah, it's good.
but would you be attracted to female Colin? You
Yes.
think?
You think that Cancer heart wouldn't at least like Cancer heart? Come on,
Attracted to a rock.
Cancer man would love that.
Attracted to a rock with feelings.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pulling that intro.
All right. You're listening to Post Credit Depression, where we discuss this week's current hyperfixation. My name's Kaylin, and my fun fact this week is that Mariah keeps us hostage to do this podcast every week and locks us in her basement and gives us just bread and dirty water
Sounds
to
like
drink.
your Animal Crossing room that I made for you. My name's Mariah, and my fun fact is I have a large sock collection.
I don't know my fun fact.
Oh, miss, I don't need to write it down. I just think of whatever I did that week. I just think about whatever I did this whole week. I just think of it on the fly. Well, can we at least get your name, mysterious woman?
Fuck off. My name is Kinsey. Okay. And my fun fact. Kaylin, shut the fuck up. Stop laughing, bitch. My fun fact is that I brought mashed potatoes and gravy to the Friendsgiving while my other friends cooked things themselves that were not out of
Bob
box.
Evans specifically.
But, oh wait, another fun fact, because I'm going to say two, was I did make snickerdoodles from scratch this week.
I helped on FaceTime.
Where are they?
Sadly, my boyfriend's family took them all there was leftovers, and I didn't think that they were just gonna take them.
Bro, that's literally protocol at Thanksgiving
But
dinner.
I thought maybe they'd give me like an option to take a few home. Like you can have the rest of them. Can I just have a few?
Yeah, I guess, but maybe you should have made a to-go plate.
Like they were all.
I mean,
No, this is what happened. We all ate Thanksgiving dinner, and in like 0.2 seconds after everybody had a plate, they start wrapping it up immediately. I'm talking.
fuck.
I'm
You said
talking.
no time for seconds.
Like not like wrap it so that if you wanted some throughout the night, you could open it up and get some. I'm talking in to-go containers. You can't open them. They're already like distributed to everyone in the room. I was like,
Bro, my family leaves that food out for hours.
or at least when I looked at it, when it was on the counter, the shit was like enclosed in bins. The bin that had my snickerdoodles was empty, so I had assumed they would been all eaten. And by the time at the end of the night, his mom was like, "Thanks for the snickerdoodles," and I look over on the counter, and they were wrapped up on a little plate.
You should ask. I mean, I didn't want any, but you should ask for some.
No, I felt too embarrassed to be like, "Can I have like 2 of the snickerdoodles that I made, please?"
Well, we had our own Friendsgiving today, and it was a blast. I made goddamn corn casserole and cookies that I overcooked and no one has eaten yet because one kid didn't know about them, and Kinsey knows that they were overcooked. But we did a lovely
soft
Friendsgiving.
cookies.
It was an accident. I persuaded my friends to have a Friendsgiving because for Thanksgiving I worked and then made chicken and rice while I listened to One Direction all night.
While her
Sounds like a very similar 4th of July we had.
Yeah, it sounds very similar to my 4th of July. It's funny how like every year I spend more holidays alone.
We were technically with you
Wah,
4th of
wah,
July, but like
wah.
we've been doing these untraditional like watch some Brother Bear while we eat.
Bro,
like,
but Colin
random.
grilled some nice burgers and hot dogs right on the grill.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good, but
Yeah,
even
I
this time,
also-
non-traditional Thanksgiving. No turkey or ham was present.
I enjoyed that.
Disgusting anyways.
Because yeah, I liked how we all were in agreement that like Thanksgiving food, some of it slaps, and we brought the slapping part. You know?
I just wanted
But,
to like that feeling post-Thanksgiving when you sit there and you're like, I'm so full. That was a good time with my friends.
girl, the worst feeling is when you go to Thanksgiving. You grab a little bit of everything because you're just like, shit, we're going around a circle with our plates. Like, I'll grab some of that and some of that. You eat all the potatoes. You try the turkey. It's dry, so you don't eat it.
Turkey's always dry.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's good. I've been at some places it's good. You try everything. You don't like it. You throw it away. And then when you leave the house, you're still hungry. Like, that's the worst feeling
I've
ever.
never done
Yeah,
that.
I hate that. This
I've done
year,
it
my
couple
family
years.
actually had really fucking good turkey. My grandma Ruth made like phenomenal turkey.
Shout out Grandma Ruth.
I don't like ham.
Shit
so I didn't
lasagna.
try that
You
shit.
gotta brine
shit
that
lasagna.
That's what it is. You got to brine it.
What's that mean?
Yeah.
You know, my cousin's ex-girlfriend, when he said that we had to, brine the turkey, she thought he named the turkey Brian.
We need to brine the turkey.
Damn.
Hello, Brian. We'll be eating.
My
You soak it in salt water.
my grandma did bring me leftovers for my dad's Thanksgiving. I think I told you about it, and I opened the plate with all the leftovers, and I said, "What is this? I'm not eating any of this." It was collard greens, sweet potato salad,
You're like, I asked
turkey, and I was like,
specifically.
all I asked for was mashed potatoes or mac and cheese. That was it. Maybe ham if it was good. Nothing on that plate I liked. So I went downstairs. I said, Elijah, who made my plate? He goes, I don't know. The next morning, my cousin Bree goes, did you eat your food? I said, no, it looked disgusting. I'm not eating that. To which I then found out the food was low-key gross. And I said, speaking of which, who made my plate? And she goes, your dad made your plate. Knowing damn well I don't like half of that food.
That's so funny. When I was a kid, which further showed me that I could definitely be autistic, my family knew. They fucking knew what food not to give me because I'd have a fucking fit. I was like, don't give me cheese. Don't give me macaroni unless it's Kraft because it doesn't taste like macaroni. Like, don't give me none of that extra. I had a lot of things I didn't like, and I had my favorite foods, and everybody knows that it was mashed potatoes, ravioli, and salami. And even my brother and sister
Salami.
tell me now, like, if we're at a function, like, they got mashed potatoes, girl. And I was like, they didn't forget. They really didn't forget what kind of kid I was.
God. Yeah, my mom's Thanksgiving, my brother did bring me leftovers. He brought me, I'm not kidding, about 5 spoonfuls full of cheesy potatoes, which
Ew.
were like subpar because my sister made them. Usually my mom makes them. I like when she makes them with the little cornflakes on. They give me a little crunchy. And he brought me 3 deviled eggs, which my mom's deviled eggs are the only deviled eggs I eat. I have no idea why. It just is. I devoured all 3 of them and then told Kaylin, she said, if you'd like, I'll take one of those deviled eggs. And I was like, I've eaten all 3 of those already because I'm a fiend.
Past 2 years, which, by the way, the years before that, should I start roasting Thanksgiving meals on this podcast? Because what if people I know find this?
Bro, we talk
Listen,
about, first of all, we
truth
talk
is the
about how
truth.
much like our family sucks on the podcast every week.
And then I tell my family, hey, check out our podcast.
I'm gonna play it safe, but coming home from
Kaylin, what a sucker.
Thanksgiving
What is-
one year,
Dude,
I want to munch.
Colin and I were still hungry because the food just wasn't it, and everywhere was closed. Because we were like, we'll just run by Walmart and grab some food to make dinner. Closed everywhere. Closed. Walgreens closed. Guess what?
Walgreens was closed?
It was like right after 10.
Oh, okay.
But we're like,
That's a miracle.
all the restaurants closed, which I'm like, cool, yeah, be home for Thanksgiving, but like shit.
What do you mean? I think it makes complete sense.
No,
Like,
I'm not complaining. We were like, I don't think we had anything at home, and we didn't bring leftovers from because it was bad. So guess where we ate? Guess what was open? Like the
Dollar
hardware-
Tree.
Waffle House.
Well, Waffle House sucks, so
I've never had it. I'm
It's
like,
not
I don't
bad.
even think I'd like it. I'm gonna be honest.
it's really
It's hit or
bad.
miss.
It's pretty bland.
All I can think of is that Vine where they're like,
Southern ones are better.
It's like, check out the Southern ones.
dang. Well, anyway, so this week I made you guys listen to music, which I'm sure is not as enjoyable as watching a film or TV show. But I
know.
did.
I really enjoyed Taylor Swift's new album. It was
Anyway.
wild, man.
I did make you guys listen to one of my personal favorite albums. Wrote down my little statistics. You know I'd be doing. I really just want to bite this. Do you see that I put it on yours too,
Just
bro.
get it out of your system.
I already bit that one.
Oh, then why do you
She
wanna
bit
do it
mine.
again? Do you just need buy an extra one to chew on as a fidget?
I feel like that'd be so bad.
There's something about like the feeling of it. Do you see
There's
you have
a girl
one?
that
then?
ate foam. You can see in that like weird addictions. She'd eat the foam out of her mattress on her bed. Anyways, Mariah, what are you introducing this week, man?
I'm about to gag.
Way to ruin it, Kate.
I made you guys listen to Kid Quill's third studio album. Kinsey's judging me even though her face says otherwise. Called 94.3 The Real, REEL. It was released in 2017. If you ask him, he might say it's his second studio album because he doesn't claim the first one because it was something that he did like before he was like maybe more, I don't want to say knowledgeable,
Seasoned.
but yeah, like, you know, more experienced. But it's one of my favorite albums to listen to. And as Kinsey said earlier, it's a very like poppy, positive, not poppy, it's not pop. It's a very positive, uplifting album because he doesn't sing a lot of sad songs.
Maybe I wanted to say that.
We can
Anyway,
go over some things.
So yeah, we can always double down.
Calm the fuck down.
I told you guys to listen to a couple times, and I showed you guys the music videos from that album and some of my top favorites. But I'll have you guys talk about your album, and I can tell some stories about the times that I have talked to him or seen him in concert,
I'm gonna go first.
if that's cool. Yeah, go ahead. What'd you think of the album, Kaylin?
Well, I wanted to talk about the first time I played it. I was shopping around that day, so I was like, I'll just play it in the car, you know, listen to music instead of the radio. And I put it up in my phone stand, and I was playing it because I don't have an aux cord in my car. It's Kinsey's old car. But anyways.
It was a free one.
Yeah, that's better than a car with an aux cord. Car payments. And I thought it was so funny because I listen to the radio all the time because it doesn't have an aux cord. And so the fact that like it had those skits that it was like pretending to be the radio, it was just funny that I was driving around while listening to it. It almost didn't sound like I was listening to Spotify at that point. And it was
Yeah,
just
I made it
very
a
funny.
point to tell them to listen to it front to back. I preach listening to albums front to back because that's how the artist intended on you to listen to it, even if it doesn't feel like that. I'm sure there's some albums that aren't like that, but I
Cupid shuffle and
pers-
everything.
keep it shuffling. I personally believe that any moment when the artist is producing music, that you're meant to feel certain ways when songs bleed to another song. I'm sure that's not the case for everything, but like for his album specifically, like if you were to play just the song, some of the songs bleed into the radio reel. So if you were to play like Small Talk, it ends with like a radio reel, even though it's not a separate track. So if you listen to it out of track, your brain's like wired. Like when I listen to the reels, there's like the one part of it, the skit where he's like, you know, and lose my number and don't call me. I don't want to make small talk. And then it goes straight into small talk. So when I hear it out of order, when I shuffle it on a rare occasion, I'm like, that threw me off. So like the fact that it's,
you can't listen to it in shuffle either. I
Yeah.
know that.
so the fact that like it has radio reels, you have to listen to it. And that like it's so funny that you were like, I thought I was listening to the radio, because it's literally supposed to be interpreted that you're listening to a radio reel.
Mm-hmm. Like when you shuffle like Phantom of the Opera, and it's
Bro, you can't. That's
it goes
different.
from Angel.
That's fully
Listen,
different.
it
That's a
goes from-
movie soundtrack.
Listen.
It goes from Angel to music, and he's like,
I don't
can't
give a
sing it on the
fuck.
And then it's
podcast.
like masquerade.
But
Different
listen,
faces, different
Think of
shades.
me.
yeah, you guys make sense in the sense of like they don't bleed into one another, so it can be a little like alarming when you're listening to it. But I love the Phantom of the Opera so much.
You shuffle
that-
it?
Yeah, I fucking shuffle that shit. I don't give a fuck.
But like when you're telling me
if
when you
I
hit those
want the
3, you can't
optimal-
listen to those 3 shuffled. The
If
like
I
the
want
big
that
3.
optimal
No, yeah.
experience, then I will listen to them in order. Like if I want to feel submerged, right? But like all the Phantom of the Opera songs are in my liked, so when I press shuffle and I go
that's
through
different. That's a
other
different
songs,
experience.
maybe they might, yeah. But I guess you could say if I'm only listening to the actual album, I don't really shuffle it. I
But like
to
the
listen in
big
order.
3 is the Mirror, the Phantom of the Opera, and the Music of the Night. You have to listen to those 3 back to back.
Yeah, because if
Yeah.
he's like, sing for me, and then like,
And then it's like Prima Donna.
yeah, no.
Prima
That one's
Donna.
always a skip.
But
if
anyways-
it's like, her dead dad song, like, fuck, damn, shit.
Besides Phantom of the Opera,
Yeah, how'd you feel about the album?
when you were telling me the album, you're like, Kinsey, I don't think it's gonna be something you listen to, which I have a really broad music taste, I would say. I'm not really focused on just one genre. There's a few that I like a lot, that I listen to a lot, just because they put me in good moods.
Mm-hmm.
This music, I will say, was something I don't listen to a lot, or it was one of the first times I heard something like this. So at first, it was kind of hard for me to get into because I was like, I'm not used to this. This feels like
I don't even know
like
how to explain
otherworldly
the
to me.
genre.
But
was
after
there
I
when
listened,
that genre came up, like around that year.
after I listened to it a little bit more, like as the songs were going on, I already told you how I really liked the transitions, like Kaylin said, like the radio stuff, because it just reminded me of the early 2000s when I absolutely knew nothing that was going on during those ads in the car when I was like 9. But
Yeah.
I don't know, they were always fun because they're like, you know, like, they would do crazy shit. But the songs, like, they were so positive. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really love the melodies. I could not get the melodies. I felt like every song sounded so similar, except for the added like music in it, like the way he'd rap, which I was like, I guess it's his style, right?
Mhm.
But the overall,
I would
like,
agree. His style is very, very similar.
yeah, like every song kind of felt like, you know, I was like, oh, it sounds like the same melody or beat, but then the added instruments were like different, or like I don't know how to describe the techno sounds were different.
Yeah, he uses a soundboard.
But overall, though, his lyrics, though, although they would sound similar in the melody, each song gave me a different feeling for whatever he was talking about.
Yeah.
And they were always so positive. So I was like, if I feel sad as fuck, I could see myself putting on one of these songs
Yeah.
because he's got something energetical, I don't know, spiritual about his songs that feels
Water
so
Sign Man.
sweet and wholesome and
Yeah, his
genuine.
other albums are just as like probably his first album or his second album's probably like really more positivity than this one.
So, yeah, what I'm saying is, like, I would pull up specifically several of the songs for if I need to hear them, but I don't know if I personally would casually just listen to them, like, when we just throw on some early 2000s in the car. You know, like,
Yeah,
would
I don't
know
really
that
know how
way.
to explain his genre, but I do often explain to people it's almost like a modern hip hop R&B. Like, and I know that's where he gets his inspiration from. Like, you see, like, in playlists where he has like the sampling, like it definitely feels like an R&B style, but it's not really R&B. So I don't really know how to put
Yeah,
a
it's
finger on
really-
it.
Do you know
He
what?
takes, like, little tiny aspects from R&B.
Yeah, it's like a pop R&B almost.
You know what era it reminds me of is 2016, and I'm not saying the music because it's not even a rapper I'm thinking of, but John Bellion with the soundboard guys, and sometimes they do
Oh
like
my God,
weird
I love
acoustic.
John Bellion.
I used to be really into him, and I'd look at his like behind the scenes stuff and watching some of the stuff that Mariah showed me. I'm like, this reminds me of that era of like hip hop.
Was he ever
Yeah.
canceled? Because I don't know if he was. So
I
if
don't
anybody is listening right now and they're like, John Bellion fucking sucks, I'm sorry. I don't know anything that he's done, but I liked his music back then. And if I find anything out, obviously, I won't
Yeah.
support him. But I loved his different kind of music, and I would definitely say that Kid Quill
Yeah,
seems
it's something
like
different. There's not one type of style you can't really compare him to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know like a lot of people will be like, he sounds like Chance the Rapper, and I'm like, I don't really know if I don't know if you guys know Chance.
Yeah.
But, like,
I've
I
heard
don't
a
think
few
he
songs.
sounds like Chance the Rapper, and like I think a lot of people compare him to bigger artists because he is a smaller artist, and I know low-key it pisses him off, which I don't blame him.
I think it could be the speed in which he raps reminds me
Yeah.
of Chance the Rapper. Like this, he has this consistent speed throughout
Yeah.
the entire song, and let's say from a 1 to 5, he's like a speed 3. Like Chance the Rapper reminds me of like a speed 3.
Yeah, and I think the thing that like stands out from Kid Quill is definitely like his lyricist is completely different. Like when you listen to like modern day rap, it's like fuck bitches, get money.
I loved how he made that comment in the Soapbox song that we were just looking at the lyrics.
Frat boy
He
rap.
was like, why do you think it's so cool to like have this frat boy rap, this
fuck boy rap.
fuck boy? He said both
Yeah.
of those things. He's like,
And then he
"It's not
says
cool."
a line later in that song, I think, where he says, I can't remember the words all of a sudden, but he goes, nobody wants to listen to something that requires much effort. Basically saying
I
like his music
know.
actually requires for you to sit and listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I know we keep referencing like music we like, but this is why I'm doing it. Like when I listen to Hosier has so much, which we will totally cover that man at some point on this podcast. But he has so much symbolism to his
Yes,
lyrics.
I love symbolism, any
and
type
it's
of metaphors.
so beautiful, like the metaphors and everything. And I would definitely say that Kid Quill, he has a mixture of both. He's got some really deep metaphors that you'd have to be like a very experienced person to understand or look up, and then he has other things that, in my opinion, are still metaphors, like something you have to think about. And when you listen to these other rappers where it's fuck bitches, get money, fuck 100 whores, blah 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 blah, like that's all the fucking songs are about. And it's like,
Well,
what
he's
depth
completely
of
right.
a
That
person
takes a lot less energy to like
yeah
To listen to
That's what I was
write,
saying.
like
shit.
in my
Yeah.
opinion, though, besides the fact that it's quote unquote catchy, you can make a song that is deep or has meaning to it, like he's doing it, and it can still be catchy. I think the thing is that it also references like, what do people care about? What are they willing to write about? Yeah, you could say that writing about getting money and women is easy, because it is. But at the same time, I think people have not a need or want to hear the cool stuff that he's saying, like Kid Quill. And that's sad that a lot of people find more interest in hearing about how many girls you get to fuck or how much money or where you're going.
versus like social injustice
Yeah.
and just like teasing lyrics that actually like talk about real life stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel so much more stimulated by those songs.
Let me just slightly fangirl real quick. I told Kaylin the story about how I met Kid Quill because you left after we got Indian Flame last week. And Kaylin made me come back because she's like, I didn't get to really see you. Which was fine. But I discovered Kid Quill because he opened for a guy that I saw that opened for a different band. I was going through this phase where I was just like seeing openers just to go to concerts, dirt cheap tickets. Like I was just enjoying myself. So I went to see the Somerset, which is a pop punk band that I saw at Warped Tour when I was younger. And they had an opener for them, who I will not mention because he's a piece of shit person now. And I went to see that opener, and Kid Quill opened for him. And like I was sending videos to Cheyenne because I think I went with someone else, and I was just like, this opener's like not too bad. Like he's pretty catchy. And then after I saw him live, I found his album, and the music video where he was really young in his house, Daily Routine, is the first song I heard him perform. I was like, I think I like kind of like this. The lyrics are funny. And then from there, I was seeing him all the time. Like anytime he came to Columbus or Cleveland, like I made it a point to go see him because I was like, I really like this guy. The first time I took Cheyenne to see him, I gave Cheyenne a t-shirt that I caught at one of his concerts that just said Quill on it, or maybe like Kid Quill. I was like, yeah, go ahead, wear it. It doesn't fit me. Come to the concert. I know you know nothing about this man, but come see him. So we're in the audience. I'm like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. General Mission concert. So I was like sitting there. Do you want to go with me? She's like, nah, I was fine. I have to pee. I was like, okay. I go pee. I come back. She goes, actually, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I was like, okay, kind of annoying, but whatever. She goes to the bathroom. She immediately comes back. I was like, did you go pee? And she's like, no. But guess what just happened? I was like, what? And she's like, I was going to the bathroom. Someone opened the back door, and Kid Quill was staring at me, and he looked at my shirt, and he said, nice shirt, and then walked away. And I was like, you're wearing my fucking t-shirt, meeting my favorite artist. But other than that, it was a great time. And I've seen him live like a crap ton after that. And I was telling Kaylin, before this album dropped, he released on YouTube like a mashup of the Mariah Carey song Touch My Body and Kiss Me Through the Phone, trying to prove that the fact that they had the same melody, which they do. I'll have to show you the songs I forgot to show it to you. They had the same exact melody, and he had a different phone number in it. Kaylin didn't know, but I'm sure you know, when Kiss Me Through the Phone came out, it was a big deal to call Soulja Boy and leave a voicemail. Maybe you were a little too young.
No, I fucking remember.
Yeah,
that.
you remember. Girls were like, I called Soulja Boy last night.
Mm-hmm.
So he used a different number, and I was just like, oh, that's so funny. Probably used a different number. No big deal. So this album came out. It had a phone number on it. 317-398-6807. I only know that because I know the song.
Fucking nerd.
And I called the number because I'm like, Cheyenne, it's like the Soulja Boy song. Like, you call the number, right? I'm thinking I'm gonna call this and I'm gonna get a voicemail and I'm gonna tell Kid Quill like how I love the album. And I call the number and he picks up.
Are you fucking serious?
I immediately hang up the phone.
Mariah, you hung up the phone?
I'm panicking.
I said when she said
I'm
story,
panicking.
I was screaming.
So then he tries to call back, but my phone's on Do Not Disturb 24/7, so it went straight to voicemail. So then I do call him back, and he's like, "Oh, hey, did you get the voicemail?" And I'm like, "This man's talking to you right now?" And I was like, "No, it didn't work." He was like, "Okay, I was trying to see if it like was set up correctly." And I have like a 15-20 minute conversation with this man about the album, about the concept behind the album. I tell him how I'm going to his tour. He tells me what he's going to do for tour, like all this shit, bro. And I was like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "I'm gonna make sure I tell my roommates, all my friends listen to the album." He's like, "Oh, your roommates? Like, where do you go to school?" I was like, "I go to Walsh." He's like, "That's crazy. I know someone at Walsh, and I'm staying there when I'm moving around for tour, like one night." He didn't get there till like super late, so I was asleep, bro. But he did stay on my campus that night, and I like remember I messaged him, and I don't think he responded. But when I saw him live in person, like I told him about it, he was like, "Bro, if you would have sent that message like 30 minutes earlier, I probably would have came and met you." And I was just like, damn.
I can't get over the fact that you fucking hung up on him. That's so funny.
I wasn't
You're such
expecting.
a little-
I was like, Soulja Boy had a voicemail messed up or set up. Let me call
She
the
was not
voicemail.
mentally prepared.
I was just gonna leave a little cute voicemail like, "I love the album, great album, can't wait to see you in Columbus, bye."
I could just imagine her speechless. She was just like,
And I was
Bro, my
shaking.
Leo Rising would have kicked in, and I'd been like, "It is time to perform." And Mariah's Virgo Rising said, "It is time
she
to
did the
hang
Peppa
up."
Pig. She said,
God.
She
Yeah, I
did the Peppa Pig.
did. God, but I've seen him in concert like a crap ton of times now, and like I don't want to say that he remembers me because I'm sure he meets like thousands of people. But sometimes when I talk to him, I feel like I'm like maybe he actually remembers meeting me that one time. I mean, it's not that I'm like it's not like every other day. I'm sure he's got a 6'2" black girl in his in the audience
most
with the bun.
beautiful big bun.
So like, I know the last time I saw him, he was on like a like.
Why don't you send him this episode? Mariah!
I mean, I'll tag him in it.
No, send it to him.
That's too much work. Anyway.
Okay,
So
well, if you listen to this, I'm gonna make her send it to you because she cares about you so much. I mean, I like you too, bro. But like, she cries when she listens to your songs.
Anyway, so yeah, like I said, the one time I heard him live and he sang Soapbox and I sobbed, and he like got off stage and hugged me, and I was like crying. I was like, I can't even
While
process
singing it,
that
God.
you're hugging me because I'm crying. And I told Caitlin the last time I saw him in PA, and I told him because I think I had like VIP to like meet him, and I was like, every time you perform Soapbox live, I cry. And this Pisces ass man looked me in the eye, and I said, "I'm gonna try really hard not to cry tonight." And he was like, "I'm gonna try really hard to make you cry tonight." And I was like, "Fuck."
God, like that was some smooth talking.
I know. And I've like chit chat with him after the shows to like take pictures because like I met him when he was not as big, so it was just easier for me to like nobody wants to meet the opener at the end of the day. Like people, or they do, but they don't really care like I cared. So like me and Cheyenne would like sit around. That was not an insult.
No, I'm laughing at your. But I cared.
So like
I
Cheyenne and I would
did.
wait around and say hi to him and his trumpet player Connor, who's like literally my favorite person in the whole world because the idea that he has a live trumpet player on his stage when he's performing is like amazing. This album, I only showed you guys the third one, but he has one called Ear to Ear that he doesn't claim. He has one called The Name Above the Title, which is a play on words for a self-titled album. Most artists put out their first album as self-titled. I'm sure you know this. Mm-hmm. And I thought the cleverness of calling it The Name Above the Title, aka Kid Quill, aka a self-titled album, was genius. Stop.
Nothing, you're just funny.
And then he has his fourth album called Sunset Diner, which I wouldn't say is as hip hop R&B feel. It's more like a, I don't want to say like rock or punk pop, but like it's definitely more like a rocky vibe than I don't know how to explain it.
I like the title. Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. He had a whole conceptual like video about a diner and everything, and the interludes is like at a diner. Like it starts off with like this girl going like, "Oh, can I get you anything?" And it's genius. And all of his albums bleed together. I'll say this before we talk about the album itself. All of them bleed together in the sense of like where the name of the title, often referred to as TNAT, the name of the title bleeds into 94.3. So if I was to play you right now the last song from the name above the title, it's like him talking, because he always has a little speech at the end. And he's like talking about like, you know, his life, yada yada. And he presses a button. It sounds like a video is being taken out, like a cassette tape is being taken out of a radio. Mm-hmm. and then if you play the first song on 94.3, it sounds like static, like you're taking the tape out and hitting play on the radio. It's honestly genius. I'll have to play it for you when we're done, because it's like immaculate that it's able to bleed so well.
Mm-hmm. Your Virgo ass loves that shit.
I do.
Kind of like how Isayama makes everything a
Makes
reason
sense.
in Attack on Titan. I love when shit comes back around, you know?
It's like
360,
genius.
it's like, wow.
Even like this. It's fine. So I did make you guys listen to the whole album.
What'd you just say?
I made you guys listen to. No, because the second time I said it, I processed how fast I was saying that.
Because this is what I heard.
I made you guys listen to the whole album, but I did just show you guys the music videos.
You did
And
it good.
Mariah.
Are you serious?
I did.
I'm so nervous about how the rest of it. I was talking for a long time.
It's okay. Just start over.
But like that whole speech I was giving, was it talking fast?
No.
No, it's
You're, like,
just
not
it's
terribly
right when you're
fast.
starting this new
Well,
section.
yeah, you're like kind of prepping for a transition,
Okay.
and you want to get to the end of your transition so we can start talking about what you want to talk about.
So I did make you guys just listen to the whole album this week. And I made you guys watch the music videos associated with this album, starting with Good, Better, Best.
Yeah.
You are so mean, Kinsey.
No, she did well.
That's the one where he was being all nerdy with his like foot.
No,
the
that's
little dancey
that's
dance?
Daily Routine, which is
Oh.
his first
Good, Better,
album.
Best.
Okay,
Alright, sorry.
it's okay. I'll actually just like talk about like my favorite ones from the album. Let me pull this bitch up. I'm on the Phantom of the albums, Phantom of the Opera soundtrack. Good, Better, Best is the one that goes like do 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 do
What a coincidence. Oh,
do 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 do.
do.
Yeah. I guess there's not like too much to talk about that one.
This one took some.
But that.
and it was like a compilation of concerts.
Yeah, it was. So like the
Mhm.
thing about the only thing I would talk about that one is there's a scene where he says like, I make music for people, not positions. And I think almost every time I've heard him live, he's always like, I don't really sign a lot of deals because I don't really want to be stuck with like record labels and shit. He's like, I don't make music for like it to be on the radio, for it to do big. Like I make it for people like me who want to hear this type of music.
That's cute as fuck.
That is so fucking
He's
cute.
such a cute
That
little
man should be
Yeah.
so damn rich. He deserves the world.
Yeah.
With his mindset, like,
I know it's a good mindset and like it's so funny because obviously I've met him a lot and it's like he's such a genuine person.
You know what it is? It's Bard energy. That's what it is. He's just out here trying to please the people.
he's traveling around singing his little songs.
Having a
like
drink
a
or
bard.
two
Yeah.
while he's out.
Trying
And,
to
like,
change lives.
I've told you guys how like important it is to me to see like someone who not only actively talks about social injustice but like represents it.
Yeah.
Like it's like your obligation when you're famous to use a platform to talk about any racial, any like LGBT, like anything in the community human rights that need to be talked about. But the fact that he like actively will talk about it, he actively writes music about it, and he's actively friends with those people, it like means a whole different world to me.
Yeah, you see it in his circle. You see it through his actions because there's so many celebrities that just say this shit just to say it and to look good, and then who's around them?
Yeah.
Here's house. Who's around him?
I don't know if I want to do that.
You don't know if you want to do what.
When I was like 18, 19, when I first discovered him, he had a music video that had a black love interest, which I know is not iconic. I'm sure there are white artists that have done the same thing. But I don't think at the time I was like that deep in the music industry to really think about that. And I was like, wow, look at him. Not only does he talk about this, but like he had a black love interest in his music video, which was like shocking to me as a black woman.
I'm sure it feels
When
just
she showed
more.
me
I'm sure it just feels more genuine when you see that he's around other black people. He's friends with
Yeah.
them.
And like he's not this big artist that is friends with other black artists because he has to be in the industry. Like he was a small this music video was when he was in college probably, and he chose to have a black woman in his music video.
And when she showed me the video, one of my first thoughts too is that she was a very pretty girl in like a very casual style. And I feel like
She wasn't like this caricature.
like or like this like hot bimbo like hair straight and like push through a filter black woman, which is something that like I tell you when I've noticed big jumps in media, like even with Black Panther. I was like, shit, I don't think I've ever seen an ad for a big movie like this where there wasn't at least one white person on it, like for a movie that big. And I told you that like even as a white person, I notice that shit when it comes out, and that it's shocking because you don't hold on. What am I trying to say? You don't know it's there till it's, or you don't know it's not there till it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What am
and
I
we've
trying to
only
say?
seen so many tailored images to what they'll allow. on media about.
It's sad when it jumps out to you is what I think I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like you talked about Black Panther, you were like, wow, it was like one of the first like almost all African American casts, and you're like, I've never realized that wasn't a thing before.
Mm-hmm.
I made you guys listen to Playlist, which is like his first single off the album, and that one's really just about I love it because he references like making a playlist and like telling you to just listen and sing along, which is some shit I did. I made a whole playlist for you guys. No one's listened to it. Anyway,
What?
I remember I wrote down a bunch of my favorite songs and I gave it to you guys and I told you to make it on your Spotify playlist because I use Apple Music.
You told me to make it, girl. I forgot.
Yeah, I know because it's in that folder right there in that box that stays in Caitlin's office. I don't know where yours is.
I've never made a playlist on Spotify for anybody. I don't even know how to.
Oh no, I made Caitlin. You were busy, but I made Caitlin listen to Small Talk again with lyrics. They were in English and Spanish. And I was telling Caitlin how my favorite thing about Small Talk is he like dogs on like these stereotypical women. Like there's like this line where he goes, "Yeah, I voted in November. Yeah, stay woke." And it's like hilarious. He just like dogs on the fact that these girls are like how they are on social media and how they're like these stereotypic. There's this line where he goes, she likes rap music, but she hates doing drugs. She enjoys having sex, but she hates giving hugs.
What? Why does she hate giving hugs?
It's the idea that she's a whore. No, I'm kidding.
What? Hold on. What do you mean? Gives hugs
I think
to
he's
who?
trying to say like a emotionally unavailable woman that's just here to fuck.
Like the girl's just here to because like
him.
the main lyric is like, you know, you send me songs that remind you of me, but I don't want to listen. It's like small talk. Like basically this girl is just here to like think about when you're like, I know you don't like you're at the club and you see these basic ass white girls. You know they're just here to fucking get dick down and that's it.
But what I'm saying, girls, if they just want to get dick down, that's okay.
But like the thing is he's saying this girl like only shows up just to get dick, and he's like, I want like a girl.
But what I'm saying is that I'm
not dogging on the girl for being a whore.
Listen, but from a Pisces man point of view, that's what it's sounding like. It's like I want to fall in love, and how dare you not get to know me? Listen, I get it. You want to get to know somebody. You want to have a relationship. That's totally fine.
I think
your
the point
boundaries.
of the song is that the girl continuously comes back just to fuck.
But I mean,
and he's
I
like, I don't want
situation,
this small talk.
So I don't know if he has said blatantly no, and she keeps hounding him because that's wrong. You do the vice versa, like we're gonna hate on the man a lot more. So it needs to be the same way each way, right? But what I'm saying,
but think about how many girls make. I think it's just funny seeing that from a man's perspective because a lot of girls dog on guys constantly on music. I'm not even getting mad. Like, go ahead, dog on the basic ass white girls because they be dogging on you.
But let me tell you something though, because like. I think that it doesn't matter if you were white or anything. Like, if you're a girl that just wants to have casual sex, even though I personally don't agree with hookup culture, I think it actually benefits men more. But if you're a girl that is completely okay with having sex because it's your choice with whatever men you want to and whatever shallow relationship you want to, that's fine. You're hanging out. I don't think that makes you less of a girl, or whether it's a white girl or a black girl. But I think because he wants a relationship, he's feeling more offended, and that's fine. He wants his boundaries, but I just don't personally agree with dogging on the people who just want those casual relationships.
Well, here's the thing is I did read the lyrics while I listened to the song, and here's my perspective on it too. Like, if a guy, if I lay my boundary down, like, you know what, I'm tired of just hooking up. I want something a little more real. So like, we either can not see each other, or like, if you're willing to, we can progress this relationship. If they're like, yeah, no dog left, and then they'd like send me songs to try to get me to get their attention.
Yeah, I said that was wrong. That's what I'm saying. If she's hounding him when he has clearly said no, then I can see why he'd be upset with her. Like,
and that's what
leave
it
me
is.
Alone. But overall, the conversation of just blaming girls that want to have casual sex, I don't agree with that.
I think that
I don't
it's
think
like
that's chill.
I just like the irony of the song that how many times as a female have you dogged on a guy for doing the same exact thing? So it's funny to see a public platform where guys like, yeah, I got you. I'll pull these up.
I want to know if he clearly said no to her or had told her no multiple times.
He talks about in the song, like, basically just saying that, like, you keep hitting me up with small talk. And it's basically like, hold on, because this beginning of the song has nothing to do with that, like the meaning of it. He basically goes in the song about how, like, he's like, like, you just keep hitting me up and I'm like, I don't even listen. I don't even give you the time of day. But you keep giving me this small talk.
See, that can be understandable to me if he's telling her, like, if he already told her no, and then it feels like he doesn't need to anymore because he said his answer and she keeps hitting up. Yes, I like that irony because a lot of the time women have to do that. But overall, if it was like a girl that is at the club and wants to have a shallow conversation,
it's basically like deeper than that.
I felt like what you had said was too general, and I also just don't think blaming women or men if they want to have casual relationships is okay.
That is.
You can blame people who are constantly coming after you when you're saying no. That's fine. That's trying to like pressure somebody. But
hookup culture is toxic because it is out there and it feels unreal to us because a lot of us are in the demisexual romantic spectrum, but there is such thing as aromantic and people who are not asexual who just don't want a relationship, and there's no conversation of that in hookup culture, and a lot of it is lying and manipulation to get what you want out of people who are romantic. So that's where it gets sensitive, I feel like.
I know, I needed to know the context of the lyrics, because overall, even though I don't agree with hookup culture, because I think a lot of it is lying and manipulation, as long as I knew that it was this girl that he's told no multiple times, then okay, you can say like, stop hitting me up. I've told you what I wanted, and that's not what I want. Yes. But the overall general statement was I was not agreeing with.
The next song I wanted to talk about was Soapbox, which is my favorite song from the album. And I'm sure it's a lot of people's favorite songs because I'm sure it's a lot of people's favorite because it is a very deep and intense song. Obviously, I just made you guys re-listen to it before we recorded.
Like really, like, I don't know, parts of it are very beautiful.
I love it.
Sounding.
Every time I hear it, it makes me feel some type of way internally. I get goosebumps. It's a long song. That's the only downside. When I show people, they're like, it's a 6-minute song. I'm like, just
is the one in the album shorter? Because I felt like the lyric video you showed me was longer. I felt like he got to really.
Yeah, when he performs it live, he cuts a little part of it, like the little buffer. He cuts it in half, but it's a long song.
Maybe it went by faster in the shower.
I feel like that song, like I feel like he's singing to me when I'm having a mental breakdown and crying. Like it feels like if such a gentle soul is like trying to let you know that there are good things in the world to look forward to. Yeah. And I'm like,
I love it because it's an aspect of like lyrically it's really good. He still has like a rap sense to it, like the second verse when he likes like I got 16 bars and he gives them to each person, or he dedicates them to each person. Obviously I'm like, I love the whole concept, like if the world started burning, would we still what the hell, is my brain not working? Why can't I think of any of the words?
When the world
stop. No, if the world started burning, would we put it all together, or would we still fight with one another?
Honestly, hearing that too, the world is burning. Like literally we have climate like issues and shit going on that's going to kill the planet, and we are debating over it. He
talks about stuff you don't realize that it's real because he puts it in this like little metaphorical like lyrics this way. In his third album, he has a line where he goes, "The revolution won't be on your television. They lied. The revolution will be broadcast on Instagram Live." And I remember there were so many.
Is that where that's from? Like, did he come up with that? Because I've heard that before. Line. I didn't know that was his line.
There were so many times when like people were recording live like protest or shit like that. Like obviously a shit ton of this happened in the world, and like that lyric is like so spot on.
That's so funny because I've heard that in like so many instances that I did not know it was his lyric. And I was like, whoever
I
said
could be
that
wrong.
was
Maybe
like
somebody
a
made
genius.
it, but I'm 99% sure it's his
also,
line.
How fucking deep, because like I feel like that's one of the cool parts about social media and our generation, because the news is so fucking filtered.
Wait, I'll let you keep talking.
I'm going to change the subject so we can keep going.
Oh, okay,
I was going to go back to Soapbox.
One little thing I was going to say. It's not about Soapbox?
This is actually a different, that line is from a different song.
Oh, shit.
I was going to say that his songs make me...
I'll mute that.
His songs make me feel like really close to community.
Yes.
And I feel like ever since I've grown up, all I've ever seen from my parents, my grandparents, the government, like just older generations is me. But then they try to tell us that we're young and we only care about ourselves, when I think this is the first generation I've seen that gives a shit about anybody but themselves, besides the social media aspects. But
yeah,
like
the 70s.
And like too many selfies and narcissism. But like I feel so many people are coming together and like caring about the world, like so many different things, and that's what his songs make me feel like. It, although it's him and it's his lyrics and his experiences, like overall he cares so much about other people and his community and bringing people together, and you can feel it and hear it in his songs.
Yeah. The other line in Soapbox that I love is the "I'm not fucking stopping till all of us are equal." Every time I'm like, that hits home every time. And again, like you're using your platform regularly to talk about how there's injustices in the world and how people aren't equal. And I'm like, damn, like this white motherfucker cares about me.
interestingly enough, I feel like they push that rhetoric of me. Let's just care about my future.
Yeah.
Because the more people care about themselves, the less powerful we can be against people who have the money or have the power. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a whole group of fucking people working against people, like the smaller people, like the 1%. Like if we actually came together, we could. I mean, maybe people would die, like a lot of them. But
I mean, yeah.
we could do something
Like,
about it.
I'm not going to do any good rushing the government, but like if everyone in our generation decides to turn on the government,
then we could.
We could. But yeah, that song particularly, I'm sure it's like a lot of people's fan favorite. It's a very popular one. But like ever since I've heard that album the first time, I'm like, I love this. I love where it's going. That part where it slows down and he uses that sample, I like cry every time.
He gets off stage, still singing it. It comes. Like,
it just does something to me live, and I think it's just like the fact that, like you said, it is that sense of community. I think it's insane that like someone uses their platform regularly. I don't think he has not ever performed that song. That was a double narrative. I don't think he's ever not performed that song live when I've seen him.
I mean, it's crazy. I don't think he really has any other goal with his music.
Is to make people feel good.
Like,
That's
he
it.
loves to make music, so it sounds good. And then he just loves to make people feel good.
I mean, literally.
Like, that is what I get from the music and the vibes.
And he even says that. I mean, in Soapbox, let me pull up the lyrics so I can remember. I didn't know it started that fast. He like goes into detail. Like, obviously, I'm like sobbing at the end of the song, but he like has this little side thing where he talks about his life, talks about how Donald Trump's a piece of shit, basically, because this came out in 2017. Which is also ironic, like 2017 height of Donald Trump's popularity. And he's like, why the fuck is Donald Trump our president? And we're like, you know what? You're right, because people are racist. But he even goes to say, like, you know, pardon me while I set up my soapbox to listener, this one's for you. And he like goes into thing about like, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, or no matter what you're paid, no matter who you love, or no matter who you hate, I hope you live your best life. And I'm like,
gave
wow.
me chills.
Did I?
Yeah, because I think at the end of the day, like, he cares about that so much more. And you know, people die for that shit. They get killed by the government for that shit because it's such a powerful message. Chills. I'm sorry. Like, just the way he, like, that is his number one goal. I know I'm not religious, but Jesus was a Pisces. Okay? And I feel
my jaws dropped.
When I grew up and I was taught that, you know, Jesus loved everybody and wanted to bring them together.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's Jesus. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just like that. My little kid self, the way I view Jesus is literally how I view his message, like Kid Quill.
Yeah.
Like, he literally brings people together with no strings attached. Like, we do this because we should do this, because we should care about one another.
Jesus was swinging hands. He was punching people.
It's just like, I don't know. It feels very spiritual to me, like what he sings about.
Yeah, and it is like there are really big meanings. I mean, I was telling Kaylin how I don't need to talk about the freestyle too much because it is a freestyle, but he has this part where he's not freestyling, and it's this line called "Love's." It says "Love's free," and I want it tattooed on me because one, I love that because we all know I love people.
Yeah.
But anyway, but it's that line, like the words "love's free" is in the middle of everything else in the song. There's a lot more to life than going to work. No money in the world can tell you what you're worth. There's no item you can buy that can heal the hurt, but love's free. So take time and invest in yourself and you'll see. And it's like every time I hear that part, I'm like sobbing. So
that man needs protection.
I literally love it. And I think like the beginning, he like says, it gives me goosebumps when I hear the line, but he always says, it's a long trip to heaven on a one-way street. Baby, you don't get no redos.
What?
It's a long trip to heaven on a one-way street. You can't come back. You don't get no redos. Basically implying like, you know, like if you're going to be a fucking asshole your whole life, like you don't get to redo those fucking mistakes. Like just enjoy your life, be a nice person. You don't get to come back and fix those mistakes. Just like he's genuinely telling you just to be like a genuine person.
Yeah.
Jesus. You've heard it from us.
You heard it from
us. Kid Quill is Jesus reincarnated.
God.
The Pisces man.
Listen, I would believe it.
Before, and I do want to touch on the opener because that is a very big song for him personally. I know
that one was actually my favorite, I think.
Your favorite one. The opener is such a big song for him. I think that I've witnessed him as the opener sing that song.
Can I give a conference? What's it called?
Controversial
opinion.
Go ahead.
Necklace.
I still love the song. Okay.
Yeah.
But when I was first listening to that song, until he gets to the point in the song where he starts saying like I'm not my music, I'm not like the money, the fans, whatever. Like I love myself. I'm more than that, right? Before that point, I did not like the song that much.
Yeah, because he's like,
it was
he's
a
like,
pick me song.
he's
Yeah,
like,
it was
yeah, I get
giving
money, I get drugs, I open the song, I don't care.
It was the
He
high
implies
school
he
stereotype,
doesn't
like-
care. He's just like, yeah, I just had a hard life, but like, I had fun.
Until
Like,
he
it
got
gave
to that
very
part,
much,
it
like,
didn't come
pick me
across
bo-
humble.
Yes, it gave like I'm just the opener. Like
Yeah.
it was like kind of. I was like, girl, you're embarrassing me. Like secondhand embarrassment. And then I heard that lyric, like that verse,
Yeah.
and I felt completely different about it.
That
Even
makes a lot of sense, actually.
and I don't know if it's my Virgo moon.
No, I
Yeah,
got
it's
you.
very
You were getting the
cat-like.
ick.
I was like,
no one came to see me.
God.
no girl calls me because I'm the opener. Like, I didn't say that, but that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
it sounded
No,
like.
I mean, that song's
first
obviously a big deal. Go on.
No, I was saying that was your first impression.
I think it's like a big deal. I think it's funny because you don't hear people like he said, like Lady Gaga and Beyonce don't talk about like how they got their start.
Yeah, so like when he started saying that, all of us being artists, and he was talking about how he's not his music and he's not all these things. He just likes to do them. I like literally was like getting a little teary eyed because I was like, there's so much value we put into the things we can do for others or how we can look better.
Yeah.
And one of those things are your passions, And when he said that, I don't know, I felt like I was getting slapped in the face. Like, I'm not just my art. I'm not just an artist.
Yeah. I
even
mean, he
though it's a
literally
big
says
part of
like,
me.
I'm more than this. I'm more than my CD. I'm
And I
more
was
than all
like,
these lights.
Ooh. Then
Yeah.
I felt bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big song. It's a big deal, I think. He has this line in the song where he goes,
I'm sorry, can you say that again, Chowder?
Yeah. Can you share your opinion?
Thank you, Chowder.
This
Very
part where he's
important.
like, she only hit the show because she knows the band. She stands in the back like she isn't a fan, but knows the words, got the merch. I was like, that was me.
Is he singing about Mariah?
That was me
Excuse me?
in the crowd. I remember I saw him open for like Somo or something, and me and Cheyenne were late to the fucking concert, and we were singing along, and this girl was like, hey, they know this guy. And me and Cheyenne were like, well, Cheyenne Sagittarius ass. She was like, yeah, we do. And I was like, oh my God, please don't look at me. And this girl, this drunk as fuck girl, grabbed Cheyenne and dragged her to the front of the stage.
She drag you?
Well, obviously I was with Cheyenne.
Oh, okay.
So
so
yeah,
you came up.
See the line because you're talking about the, I'm more than the opener, more than my CD, more than these lights. I just want people to see me. I know I ain't made it yet, but I know you won't forget the first time that you saw me tonight.
Like the part where he says, I just want people to see me. It feels so like it's
Yeah.
not just about my music. It's about what I care about. And what he cares about is bringing people together, like loving people. And
Yeah.
and that's why he wants people to see him.
I genuinely think that's what it
loved
is I like about him. I think like his persona, like the person that he is genuine. He genuinely just wants to spread good word music and enjoy what he's doing. You're right. Like he doesn't want to.
He wants to live.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not signing these fucking contracts. He in his next album, he talks about like low key talks about like signing deals with devils. He's like, I'm not signing deals with any devils. And I'm like, this man doesn't even like the Illuminati. No, I'm kidding.
The Illuminati.
But like he's like,
Weeks in a row.
I'm not here for like
Illuminati
this
song.
crazy shit to like make a fool of myself. He's like, I just want to make music, enjoy my life, and like touch people's hearts.
That's what, like, I know it sounded more like a joke, but
Yeah.
it's such Bard energy. Like, not trying to be famous. You're just going, like, town to town, hanging out with people,
spreading
drinking,
some messages.
singing happy songs, giving
Yeah.
everybody some good vibes. And you're not trying to, like, climb up this corporate ladder. and, like you said,
Capitalize.
He actually has, I think it might be in his next album or it's in this one. He has a line where he talks about like, I'm just trying to get enough money to get my parents a pool. Like, I'm not trying to move to LA and be famous. I'm literally just want my parents to have a pool.
It's so funny. I've been having that conversation a lot with you guys. It's like, I just want enough money where I live comfortably. And by comfortably, I don't mean a fucking mansion with 18
Yeah.
rooms that people be getting. I want a nice house, nice cottage with Mariah, with a, what's Dutch
With
door?
my Dutch doors
Yeah.
and my bread maker.
Mm-hmm. And I want to know that I have some sort of security as well, good security system.
Yeah.
And I want to have good food, healthy food that's made organically.
You don't want to
and
be a part of this toxic society that we live in.
I literally want to run away from it. I want to be able to
Yeah.
take care of myself and just make enough money where I can save. Like, let's say something bad happened to me, I could pay for it. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want. And then enjoying life like he's doing, like just speaking to people, getting to know people. Like, that's what I want.
What was it with our stepmothers' generations that made them so into designer name purses, which only make you look poor because real rich people don't buy that
Bro, my mom
shit.
just bought $400 pair of glasses, name brand. I said, what the fuck you need
That
that
Leo
for?
bitch ass. Oh, my God.
Yeah. $400.
And
Meanwhile, I didn't get shit for my birthday.
there are certain brands that elite millionaires actually buy, and then
Billionaires.
our stepmoms, the average poverty middle class people, where we cave in and buy these hundreds of dollars brand name shit.
You don't even get to know what the brands are to those billionaires because it is so fucking secret because they want to be so on top. And it's like the other day I was at work and people were talking about Black Friday and I was like, oh yeah, my friend Mariah told me I could get an old Apple Watch at Target, and like that's all I just wanted. I don't want to look at a real clock. I'm sorry guys. I'm not an iPad
It's because she
kid.
can't have her phone on her at work, so she wants to cheat the system.
Yeah, I can't
You're
have
like
my phone on me.
longhand,
So I'd like to see
shorthand.
my text. I'd like to, maybe get some calls on my Apple Watch. But I just wanted an old one that was, Gen 3 or whatever the fuck. Does the job, has big numbers on it. And when I was there, I was talking about that to some of my coworkers. And they're like, you don't want the new one? Like, the new one's so cool and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what's the fucking point? What do you mean? I was like, the new one's like $500 something, maybe even more. I think it's like $799 actually, like $799. And I'm like, I only want this damn watch to see my text because I can't have my phone, and I want to have big ass numbers on my phone, my Apple Watch, so I can know the time. And like a tinge of me, like the smallest part of me that is trying to die, or is honestly on its way out, was like, but wouldn't you feel so good if you had that new Apple Watch? That like you'd feel so cool around your coworkers if you had that new Apple Watch. And then I literally talked to that voice in my head, and I was like, why the fuck does that fucking matter?
Girl,
are you serious,
don't
girl?
get me wrong. I like spending money and shopping, but if you're just blowing it to look richer, like,
yeah,
like
I
$400 on a pair of sunglasses. No.
Like a little bit of me was like, girly, we are past that stage. We do not need to get this almost $1,000 Apple Watch
$1,000
to feel
I
good
think that's how
around
much, like the
some
newest one with
people.
cellular data is.
Shut the fuck up. No.
Yeah, I was just like,
It can hook
you
up
are
to my phone.
so
We're fine.
funny, Kinsey.
Yeah.
I was like, you never wanted an Apple Watch until you got to work and they couldn't let you have your phone. The only reason we want it is so that we can know the time and maybe get some text messages on
It's
the
actually
low.
the main reason I
Yeah.
wanted my AirPods.
I love AirPods though. That was a great investment.
I'm sorry, but this is a
Private studio.
Tying
No
it back
mail
to
allowed.
Kid Quill though, like I just want to buy my parents a pool. It's just like we all three just want to live comfortably, and I'm not asking to be one of the super rich wearing $400 pair of sunglasses, but maybe a home like that you don't have to worry about like being homeless. Like that's cool.
Where I can buy
like,
antique
realistically,
secondhand furniture.
I think that I mean I see like he's older than us, but I mean like we just got out of college and everything. Like there's no reason for us to not strive for it.
What do you mean? Of course, I think I will obtain that in my life. I'm just saying that I'm surrounded by people my age that want more than that. And
They're like,
I'm
I
like,
want to be
no.
the next influencer.
They're like, I want to have a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire. And I'm like, listen, I'd rather just not work for my entire life. I'd rather work like 3, maybe 4 days a week.
I'm trying
at
to
a
do
job
some
I
side
love.
hustles.
Yeah, and I'd like to live.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you guys loved the album. I'll have to, if you want, I'll have to lend you guys like other albums. I have all 4 of his album, or all 3, I think. I don't think I have his first one, but I have his second one with a like little note on the inside, and he doesn't make physical copies of his CDs often. They're not like, I can't just like go to Target or Amazon and buy them. I accused Cheyenne of stealing my second CD. I was like, because after my house caught on fire, I gave her it. I was like, listen, I pulled all my CD off the wall, and they're taking it to the storage container. I said, this CD particularly, though, cannot be rebought. I need you to take it and keep it safe. She gave it back to me, but I don't remember her giving it back to me. So for about 6 months, I argued with her about stealing my fucking CD. That meant a lot to me. I was like, girlie, all I have is this fucking note that he typed and signed. Give me my CD. And then I found it in my car. Yeah, it's okay. But obviously you guys liked it enough. I'm glad that you guys did. Did you like it enough where you would share it with someone else who you think might like it, or to experience more of Kid Quill's albums?
At least experience more, because I'm still at the point where I'm just starting to sing along to the choruses. Like I can't rap along to it yet. Yeah. So I'd have to get to that point to like shoot a song over to someone when I'm in the mood for something. I'd share it to my story for sure. Like I don't know if that counts, but
like if you knew someone who you would be like, you know what, I really think you'd like this artist right here.
I don't think I'm a big enough music nut that I do that even with
Yeah.
my very
I'd have to
favorite
show you guys
songs.
his other album. I think that you guys would really like T-Nat. It's a little more poppy and you can understand the words a little better. It's a little less like hip hop R&B feel. And it's a lot happy still.
If we were having another World on Fire moment like summer of 2020, I would share his song and a quote from it on my story. Like,
Yeah.
Like that's I liked it enough to
Oh, I think people shared
share
it all the
and quote
time.
him.
That's like spot on for 2020.
Yeah, I would say that it always takes me like 2 or 3 listens into album to really know if I like
Yeah.
it. And already hearing a couple of songs more than once now, I feel like I'm starting to like it more and more. Because my main issue was I didn't know if I really vibed with the melody. I loved the lyricism, loved how happy he was, but I didn't know if I was like in, me.
Yeah, I think his
my early
lyrics are like my
2000s
favorite
ass.
part. I think his play on words is like
My
genius.
Phantom of the Opera, I was like, I'm dramatic, right? So it's like, I didn't know how I felt about it, but the more I listen to it, I'm not going to lie, I keep saying this, I feel like very spiritually attached to it.
Mhm.
And I don't think I would show it just to anyone, not because I don't think it's good, but because I
It's a
care a
unique
lot.
sound, too,
I
yeah.
care a lot about what he's talking about and like how it makes me feel. So I obviously wouldn't just let anybody listen to it that isn't going to appreciate
Yeah.
it as much. But I think I would share it, and I think I'm going to keep listening to him because I just think I really love him as a person.
Yeah. What I'll have to do is go through his other albums and find ones that I think you'll like that are like very similar to Soapbox type of vibes. Like he's got some pretty wordy ones.
Mm-hmm.
So dang, well I'm glad you guys liked it.
Thank you for getting me out of my comfort zone. You know, it's funny that you pulled up the lyrics earlier today because every song I pulled up the lyrics and I read all of them anyways. Because I was like, because I don't know this genre that well, I want to be able to read the lyrics and understand them, reread them if I need to. So, yeah.
Well, Kaylin, what are you showing to us next week?
The listeners may or may not know this at this point, but we're actually huge weebs, and I'm very surprised we've not covered one anime yet. So I will be
shocked as well.
I'm shocked.
I will be introducing our first anime on the podcast, Death Note. Have you guys seen it before?
I've seen several episodes. Like I'd say at least 15.
Never. Okay.
I don't think
I know the ending.
I mean, obviously, I just
Fuck you.
I just watched the first 5 episodes. I have seen episodes of Death Note.
But like randomly, at 2
randomly,
a.m.
like
on
I don't know
Adult
if like
Swim.
someone I was talking to was watching it, a brother was watching it, but I've seen random episodes of Death Note. I've seen the shit live action film of Death Note.
Oh God, maybe that's what we'll actually. Just kidding, not anime. We're gonna watch.
But I
Willem
have
Dafoe.
seen random episodes only because when I was rewatching it, I was like, I remember Elle.
The voice acting. So good.
You know
We'll
what'd
be
talk
so
about that
funny?
next week.
I know.
You know, it'd be so funny if we had Elijah guest star on one of our episodes and said, "We're reviewing One Piece this week because it's another anime and he's
Well,
gonna
you know
make us
what?
watch it."
Kenzie is over here making deals with my own brother.
Listen, I'm not gonna watch no 1,000-episode anime
My
for
brother has
free.
been trying to get me to watch One Piece for years, and he was like, Mariah, I watched 3 episodes of Skate, so like you have to watch 3 episodes. He's like, actually 3 episodes in 10 minutes, because I made him watch 10 fucking minutes of episode 3 because I wanted him to understand who the child was, but I didn't want to watch the child's
10
episode.
minutes.
So Kinsey made a nice little deal with my brother and was like, if you get to Adventuring 20 on Genshin, I'll watch 5 episodes of One Piece.
I
Listen,
think I've seen the first
when you're
17
around a
episodes of One
tourist,
Piece.
you need to establish dominance. And I was like, you're not gonna push me around unless I
My
get what I
brother's the
want.
Jehovah Witness of One Piece. He's going around preaching the word of One Piece regularly, trying to get anyone and everyone to watch One Piece. And it's honestly hilarious.
This is a turning point for some fans in the podcast. They're like, listen, y'all.
Listen,
I'm subscribing only to wait till the day that like.
I'm
you
not
even-
saying
Till you
when
start
we're
anime.
watching One Piece, but I'm letting you guys know that we are going to have to watch it. Also, now that Kaylin has broken the anime virginity, we're probably going to dive into more animes.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I was holding back because I wanted to get used to.
You're like,
talking
I want
on
to
a
seem like a
podcast.
normie.
yeah, I mean, just imagine if we started the first few episodes watching
but
our
that's the thing,
favorite
people are
animes.
like, you guys
My
only watch
favorites?
anime. That's the problem. We don't want people to think that we only watch anime.
But we do.
We don't want to
honestly
think that episodes are only
primarily
going to be about
only
anime.
watch
But
anime.
now I feel like we're opening the window to a whole different audience.
I only was holding back not for the normie stake or to seem like a normie, but I just wanted to feel more comfortable talking about some of my favorite things. So some of my first choices were just practice runs. Like the Rescuers Down Under, that was just some training wheel shit. Like I'm about to introduce a lot heavier, deeper, darker, gorier shit.
Well, who's going to end up covering Attack on Titan?
We're actually
We're
gonna
not
do
gonna-
episode breakdowns when we have a Patreon.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna do Attack on Titan on our regular
It
podcast.
don't know
might
if
be
we
later
can.
down the road. It's a movie
Honestly,
vibe.
I feel so inspired by Mariah's music week that I like, because she fangirled over Kid Quill, and although I'm not as intense about it because I just met the guy, I was like, oh my god, if I talked about Hosier, oh my god, I love that man. That's my absolute favorite
Honestly,
artist of all
if
time.
your favorite
more than
artist is Hosier, you're not over it.
You're not over what?
Nothing. Anyway, we'll talk about it in a second. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next week for Kaylin's episode. Bye.
Bye.
Fuck Kaylin.
Real quick,